Another piece of evidence that the early followers of Jesus had a materialist view of paradise is that they believed that Jesus ascended there bodily and will return from there bodily. Consider this from Acts 1. Jesus had just spoken to his disciples, and then it says, when he had said these things, as they were looking, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight. While they were looking steadfastly into the sky as he went, behold, 2 men stood by them in white clothing, who also said, You men of Galilee, why do you stand looking into the sky? This Jesus who was received up from you into the sky will come back in the same way as you saw him going into the sky. Notice it says, this Jesus. That is, the same Jesus will come back in the same way. There is no hint of Jesus dematerializing or anything like that. And in fact, there is much more plain evidence that the early Christians believed Jesus was corporeal even while in heaven. They understood heaven, the sky, and even the place where God is to be a material place to which human beings could physically travel. And of course this idea goes back earlier within Israelite thinking. Remember Elijah, for example, who was understood to be taken to heaven bodily? And another who was believed to be taken to heaven was Enoch. In Genesis 5, it implies that God took him, but other writings like 1st Enoch give a much fuller view. 1st Enoch is a complicated book, or rather, a compilation of books that describes visions of Enoch and his eventual bodily ascension to paradise. Throughout, it describes the heavens in bodily terms. Consider this. The winds were causing me to fly and rushing me high up into heaven, and I kept coming into heaven until I approached a wall which was built of white marble and surrounded by tongues of fire. And I came into the tongues of the fire and drew near to a great house which was built of white marble, and the inner walks were like mosaics of white marble, the floor of crystal. Here Enoch is taken to heaven in vision. And what he sees is a corporeal place with walls and floors and what seem to be hallways and mosaics. This is just one of many passages describing buildings in heaven. And of course, we're probably all familiar with Jesus' statement, In my Father's house are many homes. If it weren't so, I would have told you. I am going to prepare a place for you. Throughout the Gospel of John, it's plain that the place to which Jesus is going is heaven. And here, the place where he is going is his Father's house. Again, obviously in heaven.